reason, you know, the reason that I cannot see your name in our portal. And then after that, after the payment, the dashboard will tell you the outstanding documents. It will be a validation from your school, from your nursing school, and a validation of your licenses. So we encourage you, we advise you to put all the licenses in there. Some of you may ask, like, do I need to put my, you know, Saudi license or your HAAD? Yes, you have to put that. And then the forms will be there in the dashboard. It will be available for you once the payment has been made. And then CJFNS will review all, you know, all your registration, will review your application, and then they will send the report to Michigan Bureau of Professional Health, and they will also provide a copy for you. Seapci, we do not receive any copy as, you know, as your recipient, because you only put Michigan Bureau as your recipient, but that's fine. We can always download it from, you know, from your portal, since we have access on your CJFNS account. And then so that is done. So CES is done. So while doing the CES, you know, you've done that, you've informed Seapci that it is ready for payment. The second thing you need to do is take the 2 training requirement, which is the human trafficking and implicit bias. I believe if you click this link, it will open up to, you know, to human trafficking. Yeah, this one, this used to be free, now it's $6. Like, they charge for the certificate, to save the certificate after that. And because you're going to upload that certificate in when you log in, when you create your account with Michigan Board of Nursing. And then the other training, if you click that one also, it will open up to that training. This cost, like, so the total is, I think, around $76. So Michigan, Henry Ford will not cover this expense. You have to pay this expense. This will not be reimbursed to you. And then so after you've done that, you save the certificate, and now you're ready to start your application with MyPlus or Lara. So this is where, you know, where you start your application. So this is, you know, it's also straightforward application, wherein all your information, your profile will be asked and required. There are questions there, like, for example, please take note of this. For example, the zip code, it will not take the Philippine zip code because we only have 4 digits, right? So if you encounter that, just add 0 in front of your zip code. For example, my zip code in the Philippines is 1004. I can add 01004 or 10040. Okay, so don't, make sure you do that, because it will not take the 4-digit zip code. Another thing is you will have to click non-Michigan county. So take note of that. Make sure you double check the date of birth. Michigan Board of Nursing, it has been the screw up of, you know, Michigan Board, that recently they I don't know what is going on, but usually they mess up the date of birth. So make sure your date of birth is, you know, is the correct one. Even if they entered it, I don't know how they messed that up, you know, that information. But make sure when you finish everything, to check that date of birth. You will also need to, so there are 2 choices in there. It's going to be examination and endorsement. So make sure you click by endorsement. Some of the nurses click examination, but please make sure the very first question, it's going to be endorsement. It's up to you. There will be a question wherein they will ask you if you wanna if you want your license to be mailed, the paper, the old-fashioned way, or to be mailed electronically. So you have the option to just receive it electronically, or you can tell them paper and electronic. So it doesn't matter. You can always check it online also. Okay, and then make sure you open this presentation before you do, the actual endorsement application. It will be a great guide for you. And then the next one is, so after you completed that, there will be so Michigan Board of Nursing requires a um, Social Security, since you're still working on your um, petition. We're still working on your petition, so you will need an social security number affidavit. So if you click on this link, it will open up to this SSN affidavit. All you have to do is fill up your name, leave this license type, registered nurse, telephone number, date of birth. This will be blank. This 10-digit Michigan permanent ID. Of course, your email address, and you just have to leave the applicant's social number blank. And then for the statement, written statement and reason for not having a social security, um, I have put an example in here of the reason why you do not have the social security yet. You could just tell them that you're still working on your petition, something like that. And then you will have to upload this also. So you have to save this, and you're gonna upload this after you complete your endorsement application. So you have to make this standby. At the end of the process, there will be like attachments, and you will have to attach the Social Security affidavit form along with your human trafficking and implicit bias training certificate. Okay. And then for you have to request the verification of your license from nurses. This is important. This is a $30 cost, and you will have to cover this. Um, and then when you complete the form, you inform Seapci again, and this time you have to provide us with your username and password. From there, we will process the payment. So the same thing with the payment with CES and Visa Screen, we do it in batch. So we will inform you once the payment is done. Sometimes it's delayed because um, the Michigan Bond website, they only take one payment from our business credit card, one payment per day. So if you have, 30 in line, it's like per day I have to do it, I have to monitor it, and then oops, I have to wait after 24 hours to pay the next one. So that's how it works. But we will process your payment. You don't need to worry about that. It costs I think 208 dollars, and we will cover that cost for you as per Henry Ford. Um, and then you will have to request a certificate of good standing from PRC if you're in the Philippines. If you're in Korea, Korean licensing um, office, you have to request a certificate of good standing. It should be sent directly from your Board of Nursing straight to, like, from PRC to straight to Michigan Board of Nursing to Michigan Bureau of Professional Health. So if you are doing, like, for example, your credential evaluation, right? If you are scheduled to go to your school, I mean to your Board of Nursing, like for example for PRC, to do the verification of your license, make sure you also request the certificate of good standing. Okay. And then you will receive the and after the payment, you will receive the instructions of the criminal background from Michigan Board of Nursing. Let me try if I can pull that. Um, Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so after the payment, so you've done the CES, you've done, let me go back to that flow chart. Okay, so you've done CES, you've completed the training, and then you did the endorsement application, you uploaded that social security affidavit, and then you uploaded the certificate also, and then you requested, the verification from nurses. We process the payment. After the payment, a day after we process the payment, you will receive the next instruction is the criminal background from Michigan Board of Nursing. So the paper will look like this. So this is like the instructions on how to process the fingerprinting. But I've prepared something for you since you're outside the US. So this one is very important. This this is the RI 030 because when you register with Identigo, they will ask for the agency ID, which is this one, and then your individual ID. So when you register, these two numbers are very important. So take note of that. You will if you do not receive this paper like this instructions in the email. This will also be uploaded by Michigan Board of Nursing in your portal. So either way, they will email it to you, or you can just download it from the portal. So if you open up the instructions to this note for and how you're ready, you have that paper, you have the that instructions with the RI 030. If you open this link, it will lead you to the instructions on how to register with Identigo. Okay, so just click this and then make sure you register for non-resident card scan processing. This means that um, you will not do the I think they call it electronic fingerprinting, something like that. Live scan, yeah, live scan. Since you're doing the old-fashioned way again, like the paper fingerprinting. So make sure you click non-resident card scan, and then you need to pay the appropriate fee. The fee is around I think $65. So this one, we will ask you to pay this upfront, but we will reimburse you when you arrive in Michigan. This is like to minimize the delay because it's like if we're gonna go back and forth, with me asking you your username and it's ready for payment. This one is kind of like time sensitive. So for this one, we will request you to pay it upfront first, and then you will be reimbursed when you arrive in the US. So make sure once you process the payment for your fingerprinting, you send the receipt right away. So we will have that in place, and all the reimbursement that you will have in the future. So we have that already on file. Okay. And then the card stock, the SD 25258, which is the FBI fingerprint card. You can buy this. I've heard some of the nurses bought it from Shopee or or Amazon, or you can always print that as long as it's not a regular paper. I would suggest some of the nurses say that they did it, regular paper, but I would suggest to do it in a card stock, something like thicker than the regular paper, so you can print that. But you can always buy from, online, like Shopee. I'm not promoting Shopee, but yeah, they said that you can buy it through Shopee or Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. So there's also so um, when I come back in here, there's also so this is the fingerprint. When you click that, this one you can print this, as I've mentioned a while ago. And then you can also, there's also instructions on how to complete the FT258. So everything will be in here, like, what to put on, for example, box number one, date of birth, what will you do in, when they, in question, box number nine, box number 12. So everything will be here. Everything is provided for you. And then you mail. So when you process the payment in here, there will be of course, there will be a payment receipt. So make sure you save that. And then fingerprint card, you go to the nearest police station who does, the manual fingerprint. If you're outside the Philippines, you can always go to the embassy to have that done. And then when you're ready, mail the fingerprint card, and the identical payment, and then don't forget this paper as well. That RI 3030. So um you have to mail that together. And then um so note 5 as the address where to send it, where to mail it. Preferably, I know you're used to using, DHL, FedEx, or UPS. I would suggest that you use that also, so you can track, the your documents. It's easier to track it that way. And of course, after that, Michigan Board of Nursing will review your documents. If in the event that you do not hear from them, like for example, because the last piece that they are waiting is your, the mail, the fingerprinting. You can always email Michigan Board of Nursing. Um, they usually reply back like within a week. You can always call them. This is their number. And then your status will be in, in the portal, in the MyPlus portal. You will see there, if, conditions met. You will see um, what else is needed from you. Usually the delay is always with the, with the with the fingerprinting. um, the identical telephone number is here. I've tried this several times to follow up, and they're pretty much, accommodating to, to answer your questions. So if you have any, if it has been, like for example, you mail your fingerprinting, and then it has been 2 weeks, and when you check your, your Michigan Lara account, that it's still not met or it's still pending, you can call Identigo to check, the status of your fingerprinting. um I think that's pretty much it. So once Michigan issues your license, once it's approved, I mean, they will send you the license. They will send you an electronic copy. If you chose that option, and then you can always go to the website also to check that. That's what I do if I don't hear from the nurse. That, I have a list of nurses that's still working on the Michigan board. I will always look up to, to the website, the verification of license, and check if their license has been issued. So you can always check there. But for sure, you will receive an email from Michigan Board of Nursing once they have issued your license. Questions? But before the questions, if you have not attended the I think we have a process, right, Camille? We have a process flow and cost webinar tomorrow, same time, 8 to 8:45. If you missed that last week, I would love to discuss with you the Henry Ford process flow and costing. So if you can reach out to Camille and she can send you the link to, for that meeting tomorrow before I forget. Thank you. Yes, Jane, questions?
Hi, good
Hi,
morning.
Jane.
Good evening. Hi, ma'am.
Morning.
It's me again. So, with the CES application, ma'am, I already completed and informed Tricia also that I'm due for
Uh-huh.
payment already.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think I can remove the you mentioned a while ago about the CES English language proficiency report, so we don't need that
Yeah.
anymore.
You don't need that anymore. Because sometimes if you put, like, for example, you have a CGFNS account, like, it's automatic that they put that in the service. I'm not sure,
Right.
okay, because I've been getting that every time I see that the payment is ready for CES, that English test is always attached to that CES order. So what I do is
Mm.
I always delete that and the payment, and process the payment after that.
Okay, so I can delete this. So it should only be CES professional report
Professional.
application.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that, ma'am. And then can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma'am, when our license will be, if if our license, like for me, I'm licensed in New York.
Mm-hmm.
If it will be endorsed in Michigan, so do I maintain still the New York license or?
You don't need to. If you're planning to, like, the contract with Michigan is 3 years, right? 2 years with Henry Ford.
Right,
I'm
right,
not sure. 2 years or 3 years. Um, if you plan on working in New York in the future, you can always activate it. I mean, I think it does expire. Yeah, it expires, but you can always
right.
activate it. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
I think.
think if
Mhm.
you're working in Michigan, like, for 2 years or 3 years, but it doesn't make sense if you renew it. But make sure you have the Michigan license already
Right,
before you decide not to renew it. Because
right.
if, for example, it's not active or it's not renewed, if it's expired,
Mhm.
there's no way nurses can send a verification to Michigan Board of Nursing.
Right. Actually, that to rephrase my question, will I mean, being endorsed to Michigan,
Mhm.
my license, I mean, so does it deactivate the New York license or no? It,
Um, it
mm,
does not the act. It will. I think New York will put it to expired. Oh, you mean
no, ma'am. Yes.
you can hold two licenses. You can hold
Oh, there,
multiple licenses. Yeah.
there.
One, for
That's my question,
example,
ma'am.
yeah. I'm sorry. I got that now. You can hold multiple licenses. That's not an issue.
Oh, okay. All right. And then my last question would be, do we need to give PRC the address of Michigan Bond
Um,
for
for the
the good standing,
certificate,
ma'am?
for the certificate of good standing, yes, yes. It
Oh,
will be in the.
where can we find it, ma'am?
It's not in the. It's nowhere in the instructions, right?
I can't find it in
Okay.
the
Let
instructions,
me
ma'am.
provide that information. We'll send that email out, the complete
Address.
address of Michigan Board of Nursing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great, ma'am. That's all, ma'am.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Um, Joyce. Yeah, go ahead. You're muted, Joyce.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Good evening, Miss Jack.
Hi,
Uh,
Joyce. Nice to meet
hello.
you here.
Nice to see you too.
Finally.
Finally. I have a question with RI-030 form with the fingerprinting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the section 3, which is about the live scan information.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because when I went to the police
Are you
station,
registering with Identigo or just the
yes,
form?
yes, I already did, and I'm already done with the fingerprinting. But in section 3, the in the police station, they were confused on what to put in the transaction control number and live scan
Oh,
authorization.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Joy, so as I've mentioned, you're not doing the live scan, you're doing the fingerprint. So
So
let me
there's no need
open.
to.
No need to print that. Yeah.
Okay.
So the police station where you went um they can leave that information blank because that is just for a live scan when you
Uh,
are in the you're physically in the US doing the live scan instead
oh,
of because you're doing the paper one, right? The FD
okay.
258. You don't need to they don't need to fill that out.
Okay, that's clear to me now. You mentioned a while ago about DHL. Can we send our uh fingerprint card through DHL, or
Yeah,
it should
yeah.
be?
As long as you know what, as long as you can track the the documents,
Yeah.
you can use any courier service as long as there's a tracking number. Just we want to make sure that that your documents are are received by Identigo.
Okay. That's all, Miss Jack.
Thank you.
Oh,
Scat. Hi, Scat.
Hi, Miss Jess. Good evening.
Hi. Finally. Oh my
Yes,
God.
hey, I
How are
just want to ask.
you?
I'm good, thank you. I just want to ask about the request for validation of license and registration.
Mhm.
First of all, I gained my registration in the Philippines, but I've been inactive for more than 10 years sa Philippines.
Ah.
So they still need
Mhm.
to request validation from PRC or hindi na po?
Yes, like even if it's inactive or active, you have to you have to ask for the for the verification. You have to do that.
So
You know why? Because it's gonna affect the whole thing because they want to make sure that sometimes they compute the number of years you're working versus versus like their requirement because they have a requirement with the number of years you have worked. So some of the nurses they will opt to they will opt not to put that, especially you're from the Philippines, for sure they're gonna ask you for that.
yes.
So I want to make sure you do that even if it's
So
inactive. Yeah.
so
They would um
all the countries that
sorry.
have had registration, so I need to apply for
Yeah.
validation
So
for my license.
you're in New Zealand, right? Or Australia? New
I'm in
Zealand or Australia?
Australia.
And then
I'm in
you work
Australia,
in New Zealand as
New
well,
Zealand.
right?
Yes, yes.
Ah, okay. Yeah, you have to do that. You have to
So Philippines,
declare
New Zealand, and
everything.
Australia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, po.
It's very important, especially with CES, because
Yes,
through that the board of nursing determines if the nurse has enough experience. So it's
okay, po.
critical. They would tell me, oh, it's inactive or it's been years ago, but I would always suggest to work on that.
Yes, po. Okay, thank you, Miss Jack.
Thanks, Kat.
Okay.
Um, any more questions?
Yeah, hi Jack. I would like to ask a few questions. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, initially I was told to take my IELTS when I was about
Mm-hmm.
to get my the endorsement for Michigan. So I
Yeah.
I took it. Then
Mm-hmm.
a while ago you told us that it is not needed anymore. So is it going to be reimbursed to me, the payment? I mean, only now I was astonished to learn that I don't need it anymore, and I still took it.
Because yeah, we have recently, because it's like this, because we came back to, we reached out to Michigan Board of Nursing like 3 times. I reached out to them the
Yes.
very first time. They asked me, and then they led me to this instruction where they will ask for, they will tell me that, oh, you need an English test because you're
Mm-hmm.
internationally educated
Yeah.
nurse. And then I told the person in charge that um, um, that the nursing instructions in the Philippines is in English and even the textbook. So they confirmed that, oh, you have to still do the English test. And then just
Yes.
recently, so I needed to, to confirm it because I've been receiving a lot of information and I want to make sure that I'm giving the correct information. And
Mm-hmm.
then just recently, they said there's this one person that said, and then he opened up this this link about the English test and made clear to me that since if the internationally educated nurses nursing instructions are in English and the textbook are in English, they would not need to do the to do the English test anymore. That's what That's the information they gave me. They provided to me.
Okay.
That's why I'm updating this information. You see, Cheryl, it's like we're learning this also, like, and then we're also dependent on the information that the Michigan Board of Nursing or CGFNS or the immigration provides to us. We just disseminate all the information. So if you're asking me if we're reimbursing it, I'm so sorry, we're not reimbursing it. It's limited to the filing of the petition. We're paying the endorsement application as well as the CES, but the IELTS we're not reimbursing that fee.
No, but the initial instruction to me was to take the